You're listening to Feel Good Files with Lexi and Son.
Hello, Son.
Hey, Lex, you're listening to
Feel Good Files
with Lexi and Son. Happy 2026.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be a good year. It's a good year.
It's going to be the year that we make it.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. So if we're
the-
saying it's going to be a good year, it's going to be a good year.
Well, it's had a strange start, but you know what? I think one of the things that we were talking about off air was how almost this fascination that we have that a year ends and a new year starts, and it's
Yes.
almost like, you know, everything's been wiped clean.
Yeah.
And to your point, you can change.
Yes, I wouldn't say it's like a clean slate and a wipe clean and now it's a new year, but I think you as a person can change it to make it feel as though it's a fresh start.
Yes.
So, you know, I feel like I've made this year a fresh start from the beginning of the year. You know, lots of changes, but I did go into this year with that in mind and that intention. So I think that definitely does make a difference. How about you, Son?
Yeah, I think, you know, New Year's resolutions and all those kind of practices have their place. Sometimes you can put yourself under a lot of pressure. You know, you're going to do this,
Because
you're
you have
going
to
to do
achieve
that,
it
and then you start feeling bad when you haven't.
yes.
So I think I'd like to encourage everybody who's listening
Yes.
and watching us to maybe relook that practice and go, how do you keep yourself more in tune and on track with what you actually want to fill your life more with?
Yes.
So-
I think it's almost like instead of having a resolution, it's about having goals. And maybe it's one goal, maybe it's multiple goals. Intentions. And it's the way you maybe do things intentionally and bring it back to that and not necessarily have this resolution, because sometimes you can actually just set yourself up for failure and then it ends up being this bigger disappointment. So rather have intentions and goals and try and achieve them, even if it's rather a whole lot of little ones than one big great one that maybe is just
Unachievable.
exactly. So yeah, I mean, the way that Sonia and I are going to do this, and it's something that actually came into our file 13, where Son mentioned that she had a word for the year, which I thought was lovely, and we are going to be doing that this year. If you don't remember, Son's word was
Copious, and boy was it a copious year. Everything in massive excess to the very end.
yeah. So and that's where instead of having the New Year's resolution, you do your daily life with that word. So copiously for Sonia. So for us, Sonia and I've decided to choose two words, well, one word each, that will embody the way we do things this year instead of having like an actual goal or New Year's resolution. So Son, you can start off if you'd like to.
I just want to say that my word changed a lot.
Copiously, no, I'm joking.
Indeed. Very witty, Alexi. So copiously changed my word frequently over the last couple of weeks. But I have fixed on whimsical, because for me, what I want to try and do this year is keep focusing on the minute, the small stuff, the stuff that almost gets not noticed. I read something the other day that was just lovely about even when you're folding laundry, even when you're doing something so mundane, it's in those moments that I want to actually just be a little lighter and bring in the whimsical, the airy fairy, the stuff that we don't pay enough attention to, which actually in the end lands up being quite a lot. So whether it's, you know, bringing it into a meal and having a little frivolity, a little whimsical, a little, you know, just a little lightness.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful, son.
Yeah.
I think I could also try and embody a bit of that too,
Yes.
to be honest.
You know, because it actually
Noticing the small things.
Noticing the small things, bringing in the small things to your thing, and also just being a little less, you know, as we're recording this podcast, I'm looking out of a window and I see a bird.
Yeah.
And I want to notice stuff like that a little bit more, because those things are the things that make up the wonderment of your life.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Very good, son.
Excellent. And so what's your word?
My word, I'm actually stealing from an influencer.
Stealing. You didn't know
I'm
you
copying.
could steal.
I'm
Could you
copying.
steal?
Which I will reference her in
Yeah.
this. She is a mom of quite a few kitties and she's expecting another little bubba. And her word, she's ex-South African. Her word is nourish. And I just, when I saw that, it just completely resonated with me about nourishing your body, not just with food, because that's a word that's used a lot, you know, nourishing with healthy food, but more about feeding your soul with goodness, whether it's in relationships with my kids, with friends, with my husband, just feeding myself with less negativity and doing the things that I love. And I like this one saying that I saw: if it doesn't feed you, or like in my sense, if it doesn't nourish you, then just leave it, let it go. And I'm really going to try do that. I do struggle with taking on a lot and letting it weigh on me a bit. So I'm going to start using that. Is it feeding me or not? If it's not, I need to let it go. And that I'm going to use in every sense, everyday sense, whether it's got to do with things with my kids, whether it's got to do with things with work, whether it's got to do with any of my friends. You know, there's a time and place for everything. And if it's not the right time, I need to be there right now with my kids. I need to be there for myself with our work. And that's what needs to nourish my soul. And I really, really do believe in that. And I do feel it's a word that a lot of people could actually use. I think we do tend to put ourselves aside and nourish a lot of other people instead of nourishing ourselves. So I'm really going to try this year, put a lot of focus on that. I do also try in the afternoons, you know, be with my children and try be very present. And I think last year I wasn't very good at that. I was a lot on my phone or on my laptop trying to get some things done. And I wasn't very present with them, and I could actually see they did struggle a bit. And this year I want to nourish them by putting away my phone, putting away work. That can stay, that can be there for later, and be with them and be more present. So, and be more present in the situations that I'm with. Like if I'm with friends on a weekend or with family, I'm present, I'm with them. So that's my word, nourish.
Yeah, I love the concept, not only, you know, of self, but also of the situations that we find ourselves nourishing us, and how do we make sure that we bring that, you know, so the ripple extends a little bit. It's self-nourishment and also nourishment to people around us.
Exactly, and it's almost like what you will execute, I feel, will be nourished. You know, in the work that I want to achieve this year, I want to, you know, make sure it's done in a good way and it's executed right, and I want to be present in it, you know, in that situation. And I feel that if I'm not nourishing myself, how am I going to execute the work well if I'm not being good to me?
Yes. I think that concept, if you unpack it, is also when you nourish something, you need to allow it to happen.
Yes.
And those are often, we live in a society that tries to micromanage everything.
Yeah.
And life is getting more and more difficult to micromanage because there's so many elements to it. I'm enjoying this trend that's present recently, where people are looking back at 2016.
Love it.
Because in this last decade, we have changed so much. We've gone from very in present and in person and in real life situations to this massive digital era where AI seems to be controlling our space
and the
so
way
much.
we research, the way we think, the way we do things. Yeah.
That, you know, suddenly now we've gone, but actually we miss the real things, the tangible things, the things that, so it was going to movies, watching.
I don't even know when I last went to a movie. Yeah.
Well, it is. And that for me also means, you know, nourishing a side of your life that you've maybe forgotten a bit.
Yeah. Or like missed, or
You know,
I do think COVID had a big part to play in this.
Huge.
Because that changed a lot of people's lives. A lot of people had to become innovative on what they were doing and how they were doing things, and that's where I think AI grew. And
the digital era.
Yeah, it did, and I think the tangible era was lost because of that.
So one of my clients is, we've been looking at a word as well for them, and they chose touch.
Oh, I like that.
Creative directions, because very much that.
Yes.
Pre-COVID, you know, everything was about touch and feel and see.
Yes.
And now we are understanding that is what, as humans, we lost through COVID.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, there was this paranoia that you couldn't be in person, that you shouldn't touch each other.
Yes.
And we know the physical benefits of hold my hand.
Yes.
I'm asking you to hold my hand.
Alexa
doesn't want to hold
I thought you were just using it as like a what's it the word, like an example.
Yes.
But it's
true.
They call it, well, that's where the virtual hugs and the virtual, you know, I've got a painting actually in my bathroom, and it's like, it looks like two cell phones hugging, and that's how it was. And it was all about COVID and how everything became virtual.
Which we, and you know, in the end, we've actually realized that the thing that makes us human is our human interaction.
Exactly. We're not robots.
No.
But I do feel that 2026 is the year of going back to that. I think there's a lot of people that are not going against AI. I think AI is amazing to some extent.
Absolutely.
But I do feel people are going back to this, like, you know, more this vintage era, you know, going back to basics, tangible touch. Yes.
Like actually,
using our minds. Why are we using AI? You know, that was definitely done by AI, or things like that. People are like, they're but frowning upon it, which is quite interesting, you know.
A tangible craft.
Yes, yeah.
Something that's actually human made.
Yes, exactly.
Embroidery.
Yeah.
And, I mean, one of the things that we're looking at as a podcast is the slow club type mentality, where you're literally bringing people together to do stuff like reading or collaging or vision boarding or making stuff or
just connecting without having technology with you.
yes. And actually one of the foundations of our podcast was the conversation,
Yes.
the art of conversation. And I just want to remind everybody who listens to us that this podcast is not manufactured. So in other words, Alexa and I talk, and what we say is what is put out. We don't overproduce it. We don't cut and paste and spend hours manufacturing
Scripting.
it, scripting. We choose what we like to discuss, and we'd like to ask you to let us know what else you would like to know or hear,
Well,
or whatever.
we want
The
you to
questions
feel-
worked really well
Exactly,
last
they
year.
did.
That
And,
was one of our biggest podcasts.
files. One of
Yes.
the most listened to, I think.
Yes.
But we also just want you to
And
to
viewed.
feel as though you like in a room with us having a conversation. We're not doctors, we're not psychologists or psychiatrists. We're just speaking from our own opinion as two friends that
From-
want to chat,
Yes.
you know,
and talk about
Yeah.
all the things.
real things.
Real things.
Yeah.
Stuff that's been happening.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, the feedback we have been
yeah, it's been
getting
lovely.
is also that we're achieving that.
Yes, organically.
Yes, organically. That's always been a great
That
word
is
for
a great
us.
word. That could be our feel good files word.
Yes, organic.
And authentic.
Organic growth.
Yes.
I do want to say that we have over 4,000 subscribers
Yes, we
on
do.
YouTube. So thank you. Keep pressing like, follow, share,
And subscribe.
and
Don't
subscribe.
forget subscribe. Yeah.
Yes.
No, so I think we've got two lovely words. What's your words? Maybe
Yes,
you can have more
please.
than one word, and think about it. You know, you need
Love
to,
to- I would love
look
to
after
know.
yourselves.
Yes.
And I think that's definitely my thing for this year is I want to nourish myself and look after myself so that I
Yes.
can be better in all aspects of my daily life, whether it's to friends, whether it's to my husband, whether it's to my children, to my family. You know, I want to be a good person to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a final definition, if I were to ask you for 3 little one-liner.
Of nourish.
Yes.
I want to nourish my soul with
Yes.
greatness or goodness.
Yes. So keep pouring the good stuff.
Yes.
So
It's like
that
you can't pour from an empty cup.
We know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you saw our Instagram page, you would have seen that lovely quote there last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
And whimsical comes from a place of just being a lot less serious.
Yes.
And a bit more just, you know, because life can get serious, life is serious. Let's be honest, some really horrible things happen. We've also had weeks of fires in
it's
Cape
been
Town,
so awful.
and weeks of floods, you know, just
it's
in
so
Mpumalanga.
interesting, like
So
fire
interesting.
and water. Anyway.
Yeah, but the point is, you know, you need to actually go, what can I do to lighten the load?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Enjoy. You'll be hearing from us.
yes,
A lot,
we are
hopefully.
going to be recording file 15 soon, and yeah, I think every 2 to 3 weeks we're going to try
Yeah.
and upload a new file.
And just give us your feedback, give us love, let us know what you want to hear. And there's some exciting things that Son and I would like to plan for this year.
Yes.
All right. So,
So
thank you.
Thank you so much for listening and for liking, following, sharing, subscribing.
And we will see you soon.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
You're listening to Feel Good Files with Lexi and Son.